As somebody in the spirituality and manifestation and energy healing space, I try my best not to just regurgitate information or repeat things that I've heard from other people. I really want to make sure that I'm waiting until I've had a lived experience and I can, at least from my own perspective, prove out a certain methodology or example for you before I'm positioning myself as a teacher or leader in any way, shape, or form. So today we're going to talk a little bit about detachment, which if you've been doing some work in the manifestation space, you hear a lot about you need to be in a place of not necessarily being attached to the outcome, meaning you know the end goal that you want, but trying to get to a place of neutrality with your emotions, desires, like wants around it, getting to a place of detachment of how it comes into your life and when it comes into your life. And so the way that Source, God, Universe has led me through this experience with detachment, and let me know if you can resonate with this or if you've noticed this happening in your life too, is yes, leading me into a place of emotional neutrality by repositioning my mind to the fact that there are so many different timelines that exist simultaneously, and any one of those timelines could drop into my reality as I shift my vibration, all the things, right? Also reminding myself that there are millions and millions and millions of different ways that my desire can come into my life, and even if I spent 24 hours a day, every single day, trying to dream up all the different ways that I could possibly think of, I still wouldn't even come close to all of the different possibilities and variations of how my manifestation could play out. So why even spend the time trying to put my energy towards that? But the other way that Source and God is teaching me detachment is similar to that story in the Bible, which I've deconstructed from religion about 6 years now, but there's a story in the Bible where it talks about God sending, I believe it was Abraham, up the mountain to basically sacrifice his son. And he does it. He goes up the mountain with his son, and his son's like, "Where are we going, Dad?" And he's like, "Come on, we just got to keep going. We got to keep walking." They get to the top of the mountain. He literally ties his son down to this altar where he's going to sacrifice his son. And the moment before he does it, God basically says, "Wait, I just wanted to see if you were actually going to do it," which, devious. Don't love that energy. But I have noticed a smaller, more docile version of that, where sometimes before my next step comes in, Source or God will ask me to sacrifice or let go of something that I've had a lot of attachment around. This usually looks like a program that I've put a lot of time and energy into crafting and creating. Very typically, I start to feel the nudge or the pull that maybe something in the program isn't in alignment if clients aren't consistently opting in and saying yes to it. But when it's a big change, it's really interesting because it's happened like 4 or 5 different times now, where I have to get to a point where I completely get okay with letting it die completely, where I get okay with moving on to the next thing and not trying to resuscitate or revive or reorganize or restructure this offering that I love, that I've put so much time and energy into one more time. And this seems so backwards. It seems so counterintuitive, right? Like, I mean, even you listening to this now, it's probably like, well, why, if you've put so much time and energy, would you even think about just leaving it behind and moving on to the next thing? But what's really interesting, and what I've noticed about Source and the universe and with intuitive nudges, is Source doesn't move, God doesn't move, the universe doesn't move in a really linear way. Sometimes you have to pause on this little segue or timeline, jump over to this other one, do some work over there, and then jump back onto the original one. Sometimes you have to take a U-turn. Had to pause to sneeze because I'm telling you, like, the energy here is a lot. But very consistently, the detachment comes in where I'm willing to sacrifice it, I'm willing to let it die, I'm willing to let it drop off, I'm willing to step away from it. Occasionally I've even sent emails about it or made posts in my communities like, hey guys, we're like retiring this program. I launch a new thing or a new piece of the puzzle, and then after that is complete, then Source is like, okay, cool, now bring that other piece back in. But it wasn't even on my radar intuitively that that other piece would be brought back in. That's where the sacrifice comes in. That's where the mentality of detachment comes in, where you do have to be fully okay or sometimes the universe is just asking you to consider being okay with that thing not working out, because that creates the level of detachment in the energetic field for not only your next step that may even seem unrelated to come in, but I'm getting the message that it energetically resets the foundation. Like, it clears the slate. It like gives you a blank slate where all of the frustration and negative charge and buildup of this isn't working or stagnation that you have unknowingly, accidentally, unintentionally encoded into the thing, the offer, the job, the relationship, whatever that may look like for you, it needs an energetic reset. And that energetic reset happens with allowing it to die, fully stepping away with the intention of closing that chapter, focusing on your next best step, and then sometimes it brings it right back, but with a new perspective, a renewed expansion in the field around this idea, where it does allow you to quantum leap and it does allow that thing to blossom and bloom. And it makes so much sense. There are also times where I know why, like looking back and looking how pieces have fallen into place, I know that sometimes source or the universe or God will block certain pieces of information or next steps from our mind beyond point B. So if you're at point A, they give you point B. They intentionally block point C, because if you knew what point C was before you did point B, you wouldn't do it. Like, it would be too much. It would like freak your nervous system out. And so sometimes I've noticed the patterning of, okay, yeah, if God had told me, or if source had told me A, B, C, D, E, F, G, it would have been too much. But because it's like step by step, like baby steps, like walking you through it step by step, and because they know my willingness to always do the next best thing, and they also have tested in, and I have tested my own willingness to allow things to fall away, even if I love them, when I feel called to allow that thing to fall away or die off or whatever, it allows the energy of rebirth through detachment. So I know this was a little bit of a longer video, but if this resonated and if you got to the end, please let me know. Let me know if you feel me. Let me know if you've had similar situations in your life. And on the topic of detachment, if you are ready to clear out some energetic blocks that have been stopping you, holding you back, slowing you down, really creating resistance in your physical body and your energy field, you are invited to meet me in the caption. I will be linking my energetic resource there for my healing container. You will be getting 5 hours of abundance energy healing sessions. You'll be in community with me. It'll act as a really beautiful energetic reset button for you, and maybe even help with some of that detachment energy so that your next big manifestation can finally have some room to fall in.